Welcome. Today we're going to dive into something pretty incredible from medical history. We're looking at chapter 23 of the ancient Ayurvedic text, the Ashtanga Hridya, to really understand its super detailed approach to eye therapies.
So here's our plan. First, we're going to see how this ancient text deals with eye problems that a lot of us still have today. Then, we'll break down two key therapies, Ashtanga and Anjana. We'll get into their very specific rules, and then we'll wrap up by exploring the really cool philosophy behind it all.
All right, let's start with something that, believe it or not, connects us directly with people who lived thousands of years ago.
I mean, who hasn't, right? Whether it's from staring at screens all day, allergies, or just being tired, we all know that feeling. But what's really amazing is that the folks writing the Ashtanga Hridya, they knew all about these issues too. And they weren't just describing them, they were documenting exact targeted solutions.
So let's get into the first major therapy they describe. It's a method called Ashtanga.
On the surface, Ashtanga is pretty straightforward. It's basically giving someone medicated herbal eye drops. But, as you're about to see, the way they did it was anything but simple. It was incredibly detailed. And they got super specific about what these drops were for. This wasn't just some general cure for sore eyes. Nope, it was prescribed for really precise feelings, like a pricking pain or that gritty feeling of friction, along with the more familiar stuff like redness, itching, and burning.
And the procedure itself? Wow, this was so precise. It wasn't a casual, here, tilt your head back kind of thing. It was a serious, step-by-step clinical procedure. You had to lie down in a room with no breeze. The physician had to hold a dispenser exactly 2 finger widths above the eye. They even specified applying 10 to 12 drops. All this precision wasn't just for show. It was absolutely crucial for delivering the medicine gently and correctly.
This right here really gets to the heart of the Ayurvedic idea of balance. The temperature of the drops was a huge deal. If it was too hot, you could actually cause pain, redness, or even worse. But if it was too cold, you could end up with a different kind of pain and even stiffness in the eyeball. Everything had to be just right, tailored perfectly to the person and their condition.
Okay, moving on to the second key therapy. This one's called Anjana, which is a medicated salve or collyrium.
So while Ashtanga used liquid drops, Anjana is different. It's a thicker paste or a salve. You'd apply it carefully right along the inner eyelid, and it was often used for either strengthening the eyes or for a really deep purifying effect. And just like the eye drops, this wasn't a one-size-fits-all deal. Not at all. The Ashtanga Hridya lays out different recipes for different effects. For instance, there's this really strong type called Tikshna Anjana, and it came with its own special rules. Like you could only use it when the day wasn't too hot. You know, what's just as important as how to treat is knowing when not to. And these ancient texts put a huge emphasis on this. The list of times to avoid treatment was just as critical as the procedure itself.
Okay, get this. This is what I find absolutely fascinating. Look at this list. Angina was a no-go if you were feeling afraid or angry or sad. Same if you were hungry, had a fever, or were just wiped out from lack of sleep. It really shows you just how holistic their thinking was, right? They saw a direct connection between the health of your eyes and your emotional state, what was going on in your gut, and even the weather.
The precision didn't stop once the medicine was in either. Afterwards, the patient was told to move their eyeballs slowly and gently massage their eyelids. The idea was to spread the medicine around without causing any irritation. Any sudden movements, like squeezing your eyes shut or trying to wash them, were strictly forbidden.
So all of this meticulous care, it all leads to a much deeper philosophy. Why were they so careful with the eyes? Well, the answer really gets into how Ayurveda understood the very nature of sight itself.
Here it is. The text makes this profound statement that our eyes are Agneya. What that means is they are fundamentally connected to Agni, the universal element of fire, of light, and transformation. And this isn't just some poetic idea. It's the actual philosophical foundation for how they treated the eyes.
And this right here, this is the main takeaway, and it's captured in this beautiful metaphor from the text. Think about it. A metal gets its strength, its sharpness, from its fiery birth in the ore. The text says it's the same with our eyes. The power and clarity of our vision come from our own internal fire. So to treat the eyes, you have to respect their fiery nature. All those detailed rules, the right temperature, the right emotions, the gentle touch, it was all designed to carefully tend to that internal fire, not to overwhelm it or put it out.
And that kind of leaves us with a final thought to chew on. In our world of quick fixes and popping a pill for everything, what can we learn from this ancient system? This incredible understanding that connects one part of our body to our feelings, our digestion, and even the elements. It really invites us to think a little more deeply, a little more holistically, about our own health and wellness today.